How you doing, Ralfy? Ralfy Customs, back on our gorgeous Springer Dyna chopper, man. We're going to look at stripping his front wheel out and making it fit them Springer forks. So, here it stands, look. I'll get it fetched into the workshop area and get it jacked up, get his front wheel out. My concern is the holes in the plates. If you follow along, you'll see the holes in the plates in the Springers. They're tiny. They're like ½ inch, like a little finger. And that front wheel spindle is sure as shit bigger than that. So, we might end up doing a little bit of reconstructive work on those. I'll get it fetched in anyway, and then go from there. Righto, if you can hear me over the lifesaver, that is the space heater, because it's just the start of February at the time of filming. It's a week today till my birthday, and it's fucking freezing. So we've got this front wheel up in the airlock. We have sprayed for future strip down. We have sprayed the engine studs with fucking toolbox butter to try and get them out without shearing them off when it comes to stripping them down. They do collect all the shit in there and they tend to seize up, like, so we'll get them a spray. We're going to strip the calipers off, take these covers off, look at getting the front wheel out, and then see what size the spindle is and work out a plan from there, I reckon. Right, as a slight digress, I got the front wheel out, no dramas, like, it's all good. The spindle is much bigger. I've not measured anything up. I don't even know where, oh, here it is, look. The spindle is obviously much bigger, and it has electronic speedo drive one side, this side. So subsequently, if you look at where that bearing sits in relation to this, that side's dished in deeper. So it has a 3mm thicker spacer one side, but it's fucking whatever size it is, it's massive, look, compared to those. So that is definitely what's going to happen there, is we're going to weld them holes up and machine some that are suitable. In the meantime, I'm stripping out everything that I need to strip out to get it on the bench, which is not something that you see me do very often. It's not normally how I operate, but hey ho, there's not much joy in stripping one of these down on a cold winter's morning. I don't mind telling you. I'm not bothered filming it, because you just see me struggle with seized up fasteners and fucking clips and wires and ABS and all sorts of dramas going on here. Next thing I need to do is siphon the fuel out, because it's full of petrol, and because it's injection, there's no fuel tap. I can't, if I pull the pipe out, nothing happens, it just clicks off, like. I don't want to cut that, I don't think that works, like. I don't think unclipping that works, I'm not sure. I'm not fucking sure. There you go. So yeah, so you're gonna have to wait a little bit. Well, you're not, I am. I'm gonna spend the rest of the morning stripping off what I can strip off. And then we'll look at the actual engineering job of making the wheel fit, so happy days. Right, so we've got the balance pipe with the mole grips on it and the clip cut off. And we have we've done a live exchange with this bit of pipe that's covered me and the bike in petrol to a certain degree. And we're draining it off now into this jerry can. So that was, if you've ever done it, you'll know it's really awkward and rather fucking smelly. But there you go. We'll leave that draining down now. Righto, here we are, some considerable time later. We've almost got everything stripped out at the front end. We're just doing the dreaded exhaust studs, which have been spraying liberally with our fucking toolbox butter, just penetrating oil. And then we're going to hit it with the map gas. We're going to give them a good warm up, let them cool down, spray them again, and get the fucking nuts off, hopefully, without causing any fucking damage. We'll see, but we're certainly getting there now. So there we go, totally as expected. One of them's happily sheared itself straight off that front one. There, look, got that one out, still a bit warm. This happens all the fucking time. They collect that much shit from living where they do in the world that when you come to take them off, they tend to fucking shear themselves off rather than undo. And there's very little you can do about it other than spray it with loads of penetrating oil, which I've done all week, and then warm it up and let it cool down a couple of times, which I've just done. So that'll be a clean up, drill out and rethread job once we get the frame tubes out of the way when it's on the bench, I'm afraid. That's all you can do, isn't it? I'm hoping the others will do a lot easier, and they tend to be fair. These rear ones are well sheltered in the life, like, so you can usually get these out without too much bother. Fingers crossed for that. And the same with this, there's a massive bracket under here holding it. I'm sure they'll come undone easily. Well, I'm hoping they fucking do. Right, that's phase 1 of strip down done. Now we've got that massive exhaust off with only one stud lost, which is to be expected, unfortunately. We could almost just set a back wheel out and call it that now and get it on the bench, but Harley-Davidson in its fucking infinite wisdom has decided to these wires and others run inside this tube, and we've got to cut this tube and put stuff in and weld it. So I'm gonna have to strip the back mudguard off, the fender struts, the shockers, get the back wheel out to get to where the wires come out, which is down here somewhere. They go all the way along here and poke out down here and then feed back up. This is what it was like when I did mine, if you followed along. There's no other way than to get them wires out. So I will again off camera, because you don't need to see me. Oh, hello. You don't need to see me fucking grovelling around on my hands and knees and struggling. I'll get that arse end stripped out of it next and get the wires clear, and then we'll have it ready, bench ready then, pretty much. But before we start cutting it up and fucking about with it, we need to make the front wheel spindle, which is kind of where this job started. Yeah, we've got the forks, we've had a measure, we've tried the preload and bouncing and everything we can do, and we are 13 inches over. Yeah, I'll double check, but that's about where we're at. So the rake it's going to have is going to be quite fucking a good one. It's going to be a good fucking rake. Anyway, I've digressed. I'm going to whack my heater on, I'm going to make myself a brew, whack the fucking old Apex on, and get this arse end stripped out, and then you can hear next door banging, I think, and then we can get that bench ready. Just as a quick matter of point, these front wheel spacers, I said that we've got a solid spacer one side and the speedo drive the other. Oh, it's not the fucking speedo drive, is it? It's the ABS fucking sensor. Just thought I'd throw that out there, like, so. Oh, hello, I've left my light on where I've been doing stuff. Because there's one on the back, isn't there, you dickhead? It's the ABS fucking sensor, so that's had to be disconnected. We'll get our brake line off, we'll get the caliper off, we'll get the struts off, we'll get the fender off and the wheel out and all that shazzle. Well, hallelujah, boys and girls. There's them wires that go up the backbone. That's its spinal cord. And in order to free them off, we've had to strip all the rest of the electrics out from under the seat there, behind the motor. But because Harley-Davidson, and I know you'll be watching, Gorda, because Harley-Davidson in their infinite wisdom fit the loom before the motor, so you have to fit the loom before the motor. I can't get those wires, it's all moulded in this protective casing, and that won't go through the gap there. Maybe drop starter motor to get it out. Not 100% on that, to be fair. Might have to take a primary off to get the starter out, which I don't really want to be doing. So for my purposes, I can tidy that up, I can zip tie it up out the way, and it leaves me well away from anything wired up, well away from anything connected up when it comes to welding, grinding and cutting. So that is as far as my brief needs me to take it, and I might get the foot pegs off so I don't fucking bash myself to death on them while I'm working on it. Might not. But apart from that, that is pretty much all stripped down, nearing the end of day 2, yeah? So there's a solid long day from wheeling that in to stripping it down, ready to do the fabrication. Happy fucking day. I'm so glad that's over, you know, with skinned knuckles, and there's that sheared off bolt. One of the forwards bolts is sheared off there, look. That'll have to be done while I'm at it. And we've got bruised knees and skinned knuckles, like I say, through my endeavours, but there you go. that is getting pretty much ready to get onto the fab table and get on with it.
Don't forget folks, our Fuckstock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuckstock, you know it makes sense.
Off we go into the bright blue yonder. Fuck me, it's fucking fresh this morning, boys. Hey, we'll be steady away on our way in. That's the sun trying to burn through that fucking little glow in the sky. And that was the van coming the other way. You never see any fucker on this road, but yeah. So yeah, we're taking it steady on our way in. Of course, that frosty morning is indicative of it. It's just above freezing, not quite 1 degree. Oh, it is not quite 1 degree centigrade Celsius, 31 degrees in Bananas. So it's a little fresh in the workshop this very morning. We'll get that bad boy on and make a brew. Righto, so here we are back on where we were at the start of the video. We've got the back wheel to fit. It's got a 25mm spindle and it's got to go in here, and the holes in here are only 1/2 inch, so I'm not sure how much meat there's going to be with regard to taking them out bigger. They're not central to the plate either, which don't help. They might end up being welded up and fucking redone in a more suitable position. They definitely need to be bigger. I've got a couple of ways of doing it. I can slim the end of the spindle down where it goes through there and make up some nuts to match those, or, which I'm slightly more inclined to do, is utilise a system like I've used on the steering stem, which I really like. I do it for my rear wheel spindles and my steering stems and all that, which is the captive cap head that pulls it all together. So what we're going to end up with is probably a 25mm shaft that is just shy of the length of the gap here, with spacers to suit, and then it will slim down to whatever size I can get away with that goes through there, and take an M10 or an M12 cap head with that cup fitting that allows you to squeeze it onto it. I think that's how we're going to go. Then that knocks on, of course, because we need to mount calipers somehow. Brembo do a lovely plate and a caliper and stuff. They do a kit that rose joints off those tabs on this, it'll be. And that is part of the wheel spacer. There's like a plate that's part of the wheel spacer. I've not got that, so I don't know what we're doing there. I have consulted with our Gordy to see what he wants to do, and I have looked at the standard calipers to see whether they'll be suitable to make some plates and adapt them to fit. And to be fair, I'm not sure. So we'll not worry about that for now. What I'm going to concentrate on doing is making a front wheel spindle and making these holes big enough to take the fastenings and the spindle to go through and all that first. Oh yeah, and exciting times. We've got this Sparky coming in to look at wiring this up, hot wiring this to make it run for our Chris, which will be the last job on the list. That'll be all done then, pretty much. I think we'll get him to wire it up so it runs and possibly charges. Otherwise it'll be a constant loss on the battery, which means it might not stand many test runs, although it don't really need many test runs. I'll see what he says about that. And there's just a couple of little brake fittings I need to change because I didn't quite have the right ones, but that's neither here nor there. So that is happening today as well. Happy days. Righto, so we've heard back. It's prompt as anything, bless him. He's going for the Brembo type kit that we've got on. Oh, fucking it's cold. We've got on our Chris's Springer. I don't know if he's going single or twin, but I'm going to see if we can get them sent over. What I'll end up doing is making some temporary wheel spacers, and then we'll make the real deal once we've got that kit. That should be happy days. Right, so here's the plan. We've got a nice bit of EN8 that we're going to make the spindle out of, 25mm, and we are going to cap it off. This is off the Sportstar, twin rail swing arm Sportstar. It's how I do my rear wheel spindle, so I know it'll be suitable for the front wheel spindles. This is going to be slightly different. It's going to have a recess to take the end of the spindle that's going to go down to 19mm where it passes through the forks, and then we'll have a captive M12 cap head to snug it all up against the spacers that I've got to make, and they'll be dependent on the Brembo kit when Gordy sends it through, if all that makes sense. So we've got to make a spindle, bit of this, 222 long with 18mm. I've got fucking focus, 18mm turned down each end to 19mm diameter with an M12 thread up it, and we've got to take these holes out to 19mm, and I might offset them a bit. We'll see. I'll get these plates off at some stage, get all the shit cleaned off them, tack them together so I can do them as a matched pair, and I might just catch the edge of that hole and take it this way to balance it out, because they're not very fucking central. We'll see. That's the plan. So here we go. We'll cut ourselves a bit off. Look at that. Fucking good timing, weren't it? And get it over to the lathe and face it to length. Righto, so with that cut off, we'll get this end faced up. Well, we'll get both ends faced up, like fucking so, and then we'll check the length. You see, I've got my gloves on because it is freezing. You should never wear gloves on a lathe, but it's fucking 20 degrees in here, so for now we'll stick them on. Once I get right into it, we'll have them off. Anyway, I'll get this faced to length, and then look at turning the end down and cutting that internal thread. Right, with that fucking done to length, we're going to touch on, which is there, 0 DRO, and we want this to be 19mm diameter, 18mm long. So let's just have a quick clean up and see where we're at. There we go. So we are on 22, can't see, 22.96. Just let me read out. X is 22.96. Enter. So that's 23. We'll take that down to the 18, which is just coming up. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17.9 will do for now. Where are we at? 23, we want 19, that's 4mm, so we'll do another 2mm. No, 23 and 19 is 4mm, yeah, so we'll take it down to 21, and then we'll take it down to 18 on the next cut, and Bob's your answer. Should be the 19. If not, we can make everything to suit this. If we're very, very slightly off, we can make the holes in the axle plates and the caps that go over it with enough clearance to suit 18.96, that is. So we're not quite there. It's a little bit undersized, which don't really matter. That'll go in a 19mm. Oh, lovely that will. Yeah, sorted. So we'll send that down to 18mm along, and then we'll get some chamfers on. So here we go. 17, 18 is there. Bang on, happy days. Now we want a couple of good chamfers, so there's a good chamfer. And there's a good chamfer. Just get that a quick smooth off. Can't get in there properly, so we won't worry. Happy days. So, as always, we'll start it off with a centre drill, like so. We're going to go with the tapping size down to a depth of about 30mm. 40mm, fuck it. Give ourselves plenty of bolt length to go in there. Now, a quick fucking chamfer, man. More than that, please. A little bit more. More? Yeah, sorted. Right, and now we're in with the M12. Nice and slow. Come on. Oh, just need to. Oh, it might have it actually. Just need to nip that up a little bit, but you get the message. A quick blowout. So is that end done? Righto, so we have now got, is that a fair look? They poke out a little bit each end. That's a little bit shy, so we've got a nip when we put the spacers in, and we can crack on and make the top hats, cap cover, countersunk dudes. Righto, let's get the end caps made. So we've got a bit of 32mm stainless chucked up. I will just give it a nice clean face off. A bit better than that, hold on. Like so. Happy days. The middle is going bye-byes, but we'll take it all the way. And this end can have a chamfer, actually, but I'll just break that edge for now. And once we've drilled it and countersunk it, we'll put a nice little chamfer on it. Once again, in with the centre drill to get the job started. Nice and steady away on the old 304 stainless, I think this is. What we don't want to do is snapping that off in the end of it, like, which I've done more than once, I don't mind admitting. So in she goes, nice and steady. Now in with the 12mm clearance, because it will stop squealing at me. In with the 12mm clearance. These are 25mm long, so we want about 30mm to allow for the parting tool and whatnot. Get that done. I just think at 19, which is a nice size for the cap head bolt, and the size that we need to get over the spindle, don't we? So we'll just touch that on and then wind it out until I can see 10 on here, which you can't see. Lube it up, and we have slowed it down, and this needs to go 12, I think. Of course it does. 12mm bolt, 12mm cap head has a 12mm tall head. It's always the same as the diameter, so see how this goes. Hopefully we'll have no dramas. I'll just keep it nice and steady away until we get down to 12mm. So we'll just break that edge and try a bolt in. There with it. Yeah, there we go, look. That's 12mm deep, that's just sit proud, that's absolutely lovely. Bear with. Now we can give it that chamfer that we promised it. Aren't we? I'm just going to touch on and go about a mil. Look at that, lovely stuff. Last up, well, not last up, we're going to spin it round after this, but for now we know it wants to be 25mm, so we'll touch on there and then we'll go along 28, which is, seems a fucking long way, right? No, just a quick sanity check there, like. So 28 is there. I lock my saddle off camera. Bear with. And send it. Like fucking so. And then we're going to spin it round, countersink the other side to take the bit of the spindle that's going to poke out the plates on the forks. So it'll serve its purpose as a nice little end cap. A bit foggy in here with this. It smokes up lovely when it's cold. I've turned the speed down a bit. I'm running it a bit slower than I normally would. There we go. Looking yats there. Job's a good one. I know. So last bit, with that chucked up and spun round, we need to take this down to a depth of, hold on, 8mm. So there's your blows cap team. There's 2. There's 4. There's 6. And we're just coming up on 8mm. That'll give us clearance for the spindola. Right, have that out of the way. Break that edge. Just break that edge, no chamfer required. And that is that. Happy days. Right, well, one of them end caps fitted, look. Oh, focus, thank you. So basically, I hate that filler word. That step bit is going to go through the hole that we're going to make in them plates, and that'll cinch down on it like so. That'll have the cap on that end, and it'll squeeze up. See how the spindle's a little bit short? That's bang on. Gives us a bit of grab room once we've made the spacers that are going to be temporary until we fit in the brake caliper, but it's all good. So that is one front wheel spindle and end caps ready to rock and roll. Righto, so with that spindle made, as I've just shown you, is the original. But what I need to do now is strip these plates out and look at making these holes 19mm and central to the plates if I can. So that will be the last piece of the puzzle, that is the front end with the headstock, steering stem, front wheel spindle, and happy days. Righto, so this is not the last bit. I've got to do the wheel spacers and mount the caliper once it gets here, like. But here's where we're at. We've used the old fucking stripper pad, brilliant bits of kit, got all the paint and shit off, and it don't affect the metal. I dare say you could remove a bit of metal if you leant on it like a twat, but we've not. And what we're going to do is we're going to fix them together, probably bolt through those bushes, and maybe put a tack of weld on. Sorry, I'm not filming it very well. Put a tack of weld on. I don't think those fucking holes line up anyway. But we're going to get them together. Maybe put a tack of weld on this end. And then we're going to go over to the milling machine and we're going to enlarge this hole to 19mm. Now, as a rough guide, let me show you. We're going to go... We're going to just get on the edge of this hole, and all the material that's removed is going to be taken from this side of it. So it will, this is nearly, that's about 20mm, so it will centralise up a lot fucking better and be happy days. I'm just going to look at how I'm going to fix them together, and how I'm going to fix them in the milling machine. Fucking black shit, look, powder coating all over me, look. How we're going to fix them in the milling machine, and then I'm going to run through with this fucking arbor 18mm mag drill bit, rotor broach, and then we'll get the boring head on it, which I think is quite exciting, not boring at all, and we'll take it out to 19mm so it sits lovely on the spindle. So here's the setup, look, we stood it on these, a couple of toe clamps. That is absolutely not going anywhere. I've put these in, they don't quite line up, but they're tight, let's put it that way, they're tight. And these 1/2 holes, sorry, not filming it very well as usual, these 1/2 holes don't quite line up perfectly either, so we've got a bit of mass production going on there, which is all right. Left ourselves enough room, and like I say, I'm going to line up that annular cutter so it's on this edge of that hole, and it'll take the material out this side, and then we'll bore it out to 19mm. We've got our clamp down, we've moved everything in place, we've eyeballed it, which is going to be good enough. We've locked bed off, we've zeroed a DRO, and I'm just going to reach across, put the power feed in, and it should be happy days. Now this is 18mm, this cutter. It's a shame I've not got a 19, because they really are that fucking good. I just need to watch myself, hold on. I didn't check for depth, did I, like a dickhead, but I'm sure we'll get all the way through with that. There we go. And we're through, we're away. So, we're almost there. That is a fucking beautiful hole, that is. But it's 18mm, so I'll swap that out for the boring head, and then we'll go from there. Right, so what I'm going to sketchily try and show you is that I'm going to wind this until it just touches. I've marked inside the hole with black marker pen, and I want to just get this to touch. So it is just touching, just giving me a slight line, and then I know where I'm at. Part of the issue here is that I've marked the hole. I might run that through at that and see how it goes actually. It's nearly touching. So there it is, it's touching now. It's just touching. Part of the problem is that I can't measure the oil properly because my bore gauges aren't the best, and that is just between sizes. One finishes at 19 and the next one starts at 19, and I want 19, so it's hard to measure. I'm just going to take that down. Yeah, that is just skimming, that is at that. So I know from what I can guess, you don't guess at this, do you? I need to take 0.3 of a mil cut to get me where I need to be. So I can wind this out accordingly. 0.3 of a mil. So we're just under 0.2. We'll go there. We'll just take that much of a cut and see how it goes. I think that'll be fucking splendiferous. Like so. So we're just giving it a bit of a clean up. And we'll carry on through to the other side. And then we'll do our best to measure again. And we'll see where we're at. Just waiting for it to break through. Which is there. So I'll have a measure off camera and go again. Look, this is the fucking problem I've got, is that these ain't the best in the world. And like I say, it's right on where I need it to be, so I'll take a measurement. Oh, see, that's just ping. These are shit, isn't there? I can't use that, can I? That's fucking bollocks, Ralph. Try again. Over there, look, we'll lock it off. And now we'll ease it out and have a measure. I don't know how well you can see what I'm doing, but so be it. And that's telling me that I am 18.5. So 18.46, we're on half a mil. So we want a quarter of a mil on here. And that should get us about where we need to be, which is just over 10 graduations. 5, 10. We'll go to there and have another go. See where we're at. Happy days. Right, so we managed that with a little bit of help from these. I must invest in some better ones, to be fair. The bigger sizes are better, but this is the smallest one and it's a bit... What I also did was make a go, no-go gauge, so I could have a sanity check, and I'm very pleased to be able to show you. I don't know how well you can see, but that fits in there. There's fuck all play. It's absolutely bob on from both ways round, like so. So I'll make up some spaces, just a bit of tube cut to the length I've worked out. I'll split these and clean them up a bit. I'm going back together, and that is fucking happy days. And Bob's your fucking auntie, look, there it is all together, just like the headstock setup. That's tight, but the spacers and wheel aren't in, obviously. There will be slight gappage here for the, I've made some temporary spacers. One through mill shorter than the other, just until we get the brake set up so that we can do it properly. I've not bothered putting the front wheel in because it's the end of the day and I'm fucked, basically. But that's it, that is it. These adapters, these plates have been made good, the hole's been made good. Nice and central, as opposed to being on the wrong like it was before. We've got a nice wheel spacer that fits through lovely, and we've got the Ralphie's patented countersunk Allen bolt bosses that will go through. The theme continues with the steering stem. I'm really pleased with this. So yeah, so we are now, barring the brakes that I've not got, so we've got to make some wheel spacers and mount the brakes and do all that, but we can get the front wheel in and get on with the job really. We can look at getting this on the bench next, and then we've got the headstock made. We need to make a square to round adapter from where we're going to cut it here, and then we need to rake it out to give us that extra length to take up those forks. So fucking sorted. So there you go, that's another part of the job done, and we're almost ready to start doing the frame mods. We've got a lovely square to round adapter to make for the top tube, which I'm really looking forward to. It just leaves me as always to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Check out the bump in the description below. Follow along for further updates. Please consider subscribing and joining the channel, and I will catch you on the next one. Lots of love everyone. I'll see you soon.